Good, thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast, yet again out here in California. Just wanted to share a few top fairings or some of my favorites out there for the Lowrider S. This is just based off of a video just released from potentially the new Saddlemen Mini FXR fairing, which looks pretty good. I'm guessing it's going to be the same material as most of these on my list. It's going to be that hard plastic, that injected molded. I think they're injected molded or something along those lines. You know, it's got a very nice finish. Most of these, like I said, it's going to be majority. I think it's going to be this type of build. But anyways, getting into my personal favorites on the list, and of course number one would be the Road Warrior fairing. That's one of the ones that I went ahead and picked for my Lowrider S. It's one of those fairings that has a nice finish to it. You don't have to paint it, especially if you have a black bike. It looks great. It's got a nice high quality finish, and the overall function of it as a fairing to protect you against the wind, it's great. There's a lot of customizability. The windshields, they range from I believe 11 all the way to 15 if I'm correct, or maybe I think it's 11. You know what, I'm not too sure. You can't, this is of course off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean that's the one I really like. And one of the newer ones that Harley-Davidson, moving on to another fairing, one of the newer ones that Harley just released, the new quarter fairing, it's a very good looking fairing, but I think you should probably pick it up from Denton. It's a beautiful design. It's a nice update to the quarter fairing. It looks great. I really like it, and as just like the Road Warrior fairing, you have some options there. In the windshield, you could get them from I believe 12 inch all the way to 14 or 16 inches, if I'm correct. You would have to go to the Denton website. I believe they offer all those different windshield sizes. But yes, this is another one of those great fairings. It's got that nice finish to it too. You don't have to paint it, so it looks great. I believe you could. I think you also have the option to get it primer or to get it finished from Denton. I don't know. You would have to go on their website. But if you're looking for a little bit more of a ease of installation, or you're looking not to paint or anything like that, if it is a black bike, then you should probably look at some of these options. Moving on to the next one, on my favorite fairings, I believe it's the old Harley quarter, or you could get the crater one from Amazon. I believe they're almost the same. But yes, this is a Sportster Fairing. It's a good looking fairing, but you could also get this for the soft tails, for a full frame V-twin, of course, or a dyno, whatever. Bum King makes the bracket for these fairings, so they will fit on your bike. And if you guys remember, I believe Laidlaw put one of these fairings on Nick's Lowrider 2019 or 2018 Lowrider. It looks great. It's a nice looking fairing. It's got that little glass on the front for your headlight. You could get that tinted, or you could get a clear one. It looks good. I am a fan. And then you could also get that little spoiler on top of it. I don't know if you guys seen it. Yeah, if you needed some extra wind protection, you could go ahead and do that, because I mean the windshield on these next few, they're not interchangeable. You can't get them larger or anything like that. I mean, it is what it is. And moving on to the next one, not to ramble too much on one of these fairings, I believe the Gauntlet looks pretty good too. This is another one of those fairings. I had this fairing myself on my Sportster, and I did like the overall look of it. It's a good looking fairing. Memphis shades, I really like it. It's kind of like that quarter fairing, but it's not. It doesn't have that windshield or that cover in front of the headlight, so it does look good. Like I said, I'm a fan of it as well. I've owned it. I've owned one myself, and it just changes the look of the bike, and it looks a little bit better. But moving on to the next few, I think this next one is also, you could also get it as a crater fairing from Amazon, or you could go through a manufacturer like RWD. This is the TXR fairing. I think the RWD, it's a little bit wider because they have those inserts for your speakers. I don't know if the TXR has that adjustable windshield. If you guys know, on the crater one, you could adjust it. You could tilt it upwards or tilt it downwards on the TXR one. On the crater one. I don't know if the TXR has those same options. I believe you do, but I'm not 100% sure. But Yes, another good looking fairing. This is more of a full size, kind of like the Road Warrior. They're a little bit larger than the quarter fairing from Bebe. Now remember, I was saying the front of the design. I don't think it stands out too much on the Crater, on the TXR. Sorry, I don't think it stands out too much. But you know what? You guys are gonna have to look at them yourselves and let me know what you guys think. Like I said, the TXR is a little bit wider, and I don't think the windshields are customizable or they're interchangeable or anything like that. I believe you are getting what you get, which is, you know, it's a full size fairing, kind of like the Road Warrior. Give me a second. All right, so moving on to the last fairing on my list. And it's not based off of, you know, style or anything like that. I really like the FXR fairing. It's also made by RWD and a few other manufacturers. But the reason why it's not towards the top of my list, and that's just the ease of use or the ease of installation and the cost of it. Of course, it's I mean, it's $1,500, the bracket and the fairing, plus you still have to paint it. And there's also, I mean, it's fiberglass. There's also modifications that you'll have to do. I mean, it's not one of those easy install. You do have to do a mock-up, a prep, and you have to do a mock-up and a prep, and then you have to paint it, you have to sand it, and I mean, there is a lot of work for this next one, which is the FXR or the FXRT. It's a good-looking fairing, and I mean, it looks great. It doesn't look. I mean, I think it really looks a lot better once you put that Clockworks. Once you put that Clockworks windshield on the FXR fairing, it looks amazing. So I mean, not only are you spending, you know, $1,500 plus the paint, but you also have to pay probably the $250 to get that fairing to look beautiful, or to get it to look on point. I think that windshield flare on the Clockworks windshield looks great. I mean, I think that's what sets it apart. That's what puts it above everything else. I think yeah, it's just one of those things where it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Once you consider everything, you're probably looking at somewhere around the $2,000 range for this FXRT fairing. But I think it's worth the price if you're someone that likes to go on these long rides, or if you do long range rides, you know, and you need that extra wind protection. I believe the FXR is worth the money, and you also have a place to put your sound system and, you know, different components, tech or different electrical components and stuff like that. Give me another minute. So anyways, you know what, I gotta end the video here. You guys just share your thoughts, let me know what you guys think. Just mention what you guys are rocking on your Lowrider S or on your build. Let me know what you guys are riding with. Mention it in the comments, which ones are the ones that you're fond of, or which ones are the ones that you like. If you're thinking about doing it, if you're thinking about getting a fairing or something like that, leave that in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing. Anyways, you guys just stay out there, stay safe, don't believe everything you read, likes the risk, get out there and ride. Later.